Beautiful day out in Minneapolis, Minnesota, James H. Cole Stadium for the border battle here. Wisconsin hosted by Minnesota. Wisconsin evening conference play. Minnesota at 6-12. Up here in the booth, I am Sam Constan. To my right is Sydney Strelo, and it should be a fun one today.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day to play some softball. We got a lot of fans out here, a lot of maroon and gold, and we do see a lot of Badger fans as well.
Well, Badgers, their lineup today, pretty similar to what we've seen most of the year. They had a good stretch. They won their last conference series against Michigan, and that offense has had a bit more success lately. They had a tougher time earlier in the season, especially with that series against Nebraska, but we'll see what they can do today. And for Minnesota in the circle, no surprises, Sid Schwartz.
Yeah, Schwartz has been a go-to all season. With the Gophers battling through some stuff this season, I'm excited to see Schwartz out here competing and working for the Gophers, trying to get a few W's before the end of the year.
It's definitely been a tough season for Minnesota, but lots of bright spots. She is certainly one of them. And behind her, same defense as you're used to seeing here. Cassie Johnson behind the plate. First to third is Werner Hooper Kuhn Easton. And left to right is Snippas, Cosgriff, and Jones. Gophers in their all whites today, and Wisconsin in red. Starting off the game for Wisconsin is Emily Bojan. A very consistent leadoff hitter. 361 is her average. She has led off all but one game this season. And we are underway as Schwartz loses the first pitch. Bojan, the Chicago native senior. She has been the designated player in all but 2 games this season. 1-1 count. Definitely a leadoff with some power on her bat. 5 home runs this season and over 24 RBIs.
Yeah, you see a few teams do this where you find a groove, you find a lineup, kind of the top of the order, you find that groove with your lineup throughout the year, and no surprise here seeing Emily up at the top.
And Gophers saw certainly last weekend against Nebraska, a team that is notorious for putting their power hitters up front in the lineup. So they got a bit of a taste for that and was off to a rough start, but the Gophers did handle the leadoff batters very well that weekend. And so we'll see if they can do a similar job here. 2-2 count from Schwartz to the leadoff. Did she go? No. Held off on the check swing, brings the count full. Full count to the leadoff Bojan. And called strike 3 that time.
Great way to start off the game for Schwartz, getting ahead, especially that leadoff batter. Statistically, getting the lead out is best odds for the rest of the inning. So good job to Schwartz.
And again, Nebraska, a team that was very strong offensively, and the Gophers did a really great job of containing the leadoff batter every inning. Game 1, Minnesota lost 4-0, and I think the first 5 innings they didn't allow a leadoff runner on base. As Blomberg will step up to the plate, Hillary that is. And again, she has hit second in almost every game this year. Hit first in 1 game. But it's been, her and Bojan have been the duo up top for Wisconsin this whole season. Schwartz pitching to the Wisconsin native out of Verona, both her and her sister Addie Blumberg. Trying to start something off on offense for the Badgers. Fouled off, keeps the count at 1-2. Schwartz getting into some deeper counts than she would like this early into the game.
Yeah, I think it takes some time to find her groove. With Schwartz, she has some real good change of speeds, and you can already see some Wisconsin Badgers getting ahead of themselves there on that pitch.
That time she got the call on the check. 2 strikeouts for Schwartz on the first 2 batters. Great call on that pitch. Brings up Lewis, Kendra Lewis, playing in right field today. Fouls off into her dugout. Now, Sid Schwartz this year has had a lot of games that have sort of been the same pattern. She'll get a lot of strikeouts early on, be on pace for a career high in strikeouts, and then around the 3rd or 4th inning, start pitching a lot more to contact and rely on her defense.
I think with Schwartz, the mentality in the box is really just trying to make contact, and having that opportunity to rely on your defense when the Gophers are making plays is a big relief for anyone on the mound. So
another ball fouled off. Ahead in the count again. Schwartz, her outings, as I suppose is true with almost every pitcher, so key on whether she can get ahead early in counts. And there have been some days where she has just really struggled to do that. But up to a 1-2 count after striking out the first 2 batters. Can she get the 3rd? Strike 3 swinging. Schwartz strikes out the side to start off the game for the Gophers. 3 up, 3 down for Wisconsin. Minnesota bringing up Werner, Johnson, and Wallacco to the plate. When we come back, this is Big Ten softball on Big Ten Plus. We are back here for the bottom of the first after Sid Schwartz strike out the side. Gophers offense, Werner, Johnson, Wallacco. Schwartz hitting today, followed by Easton, who's back. Had a minor injury last weekend. Then Snippas, Cosgriff, Kuhn, and Jones. So a couple small tweaks, but for the most part, pretty similar to what we've seen. Cassie Johnson continuing to get that higher up spot. Will be going up against Shelby Jacobson. Take a look at her stats there, and she has been one of 3 Wisconsin pitchers to get the majority of the time this season. Werner in the box after a very clean first inning defensively for the Gophers. So we'll watch the first pitch go by. Werner, another leadoff hitter, like with Wisconsin, with quite a bit of power on her bat. Also 5 home runs, second on the team in that category. One and one count to the leadoff Werner. Pitch is taken for a strike, 1-2. And one thing she's done a great job of this year is getting the leadoff job done, seeing a lot of pitches, extending long at bats. We'll see if she can foul a couple off here. Off the end of the bat, to left, caught. And Gophers now 1 down. The Wisconsin defense, Blomberg behind the plate, Showalter, Whitten, Conger, Bark first to third, and Foster, Lucy, and Lewis round out the outfield. Cassie Johnson, catcher for Minnesota, up. She has bounced around the order quite a bit. She played a lot of the season in the 6 to 8 range, but she has been on a pretty good hot streak recently and worked her way up in the lineup.
Cassie's been a very great addition to Minnesota softball. I think she's definitely assumed a role in the lineup by this point in the season, and you know, being at the top, as you were mentioning with Werner, seeing a lot of pitches, being able to pass that information to your teammates is super important. I think it's a key quality of top of the lineup batters that gets overlooked frequently.
And this is a Minnesota team that is not having anyone run out of eligibility, so very strong future in that department. Get another look. That one did not feel good behind the dish. Looks like she's just about good now, though.
Does not feel good.
Big swing way up high, same spot. And once again caught by Mackenzie Foster out and left. She's seen both of the balls put in play so far today. Just 7 pitches through those first 2 batters as Tara Wolako comes up to the plate. And talk about players that have stepped up for the Gophers this season. Badgers outfield playing fairly deep, especially out in left, maybe 8 strides from the warning track. Up the middle, and no play in time, so the Gophers have a base runner. That's a couple of times now. The ball just hasn't come super clean off the bat, but this time well placed and able to get on board.
Yeah, it looks like the Gophers are swinging hard, swinging early. You can see with the balls to the left field and Wolako getting a little in front, kind of getting it off the end of the bat. They're probably working early, a little bit early on these pitches, which isn't a bad spot to be. But again, passing that information is going to be key throughout the rest of the game.
Sid Schwartz at the plate, talking about passing information about pitchers. Always nice when she's in the lineup and she knows the zone better than anyone else on this team. Well, day in, day out, as she fouls that one off hard. And again, getting way out in front. One count, pitcher to pitcher, 2 down. Outside. Jacobson, another Chicago native for the Badgers. Senior pitcher. 3-1 count. Wolako on first. 3-1 to Schwartz. Five-pitch walk puts the runner in scoring position for the Gophers and brings up Tinley Easton.
Batting back, the third baseman, number 2, Tinley Easton.
Easton, again, she missed part of last weekend with a minor injury. She actually came in to pinch run, but wasn't able to bat. Here she'll ground to short, play over to second, and the Badgers will strand 2 Gophers on base. 5 up, 3 outs, and we are still locked at 0 after 1. We'll be back with the top of the second.
2 up for the Badgers in the top of the second inning. Clark, Showalter, and Lucy. All right, fans, it's time for your first set of bingo numbers. Our numbers are B6, I-29, I-22, N-38. That's B6, I-29, I-22, and N-38. Make sure to pay attention to the video board during any breaks for numbers. The first 10 bingos to make it to the marketing table will have their choice of prize.
Back here, top of the second, after 3 strikeouts for Schwartz in the first. Take a look at some of her strikeouts from conference play this season.
Yeah, you can see Schwartz is really mixing it up on the edges of that zone, and not as much that you could see is the change of speeds. We saw that in the first inning, a lot of batters getting ahead of the count, and that ball's moving pretty well. Almost none of those pitches are really over the top of the heart of the plate, and she does a really good job keeping it on the outsides.
That change of speed that you mentioned, something that so many batters have had a very tough time with. She went up against such an incredibly talented Nebraska lineup, and they were caught guessing just about every pitch. 4 batter, Olivia Bark, to lead off the inning for Wisconsin, and again, she'll get ahead 2-0, which, even as dominant a start as Schwartz had, something to definitely watch out for.
I can imagine the Badger hitters probably come into this game, like you mentioned, you don't want to be guessing, but probably come in with a plan, trying to attack a pitch that they want. So I could assume why seeing a few pitches is helpful. They're probably trying to attack the pitch that they want, the speed that they want, just to be on time to hit a good pitch hard.
So far, they've done a good job seeing pitches. That one falls in to make it a 3-1 count. Schwartz at 19 so far after striking out the side in the first. The 3-1 loses it up high, and Wisconsin is a base runner.
Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 10, Jackie Showalter.
Showalter, the lone freshman in this Wisconsin lineup today. Batting .256. She has played and started in 40 of the team's games this year. She'll swing through strike 1. Bark 2 stolen bases on the season over at first. And whatever adjustments Schwartz made, falling behind 3-0, 5-pitch walk. Now 0-2 count, right where she wants to be. Schwartz, the 0-2. Misses. One-two count. Big swing way out in front. And the play over behind third base from Tinley Easton is first out of the inning.
Batting sixth, the center fielder, number 2, Davy Lucy.
Badgers still have yet to make good contact against Sid Schwartz. Danielle Lucy, 6th batter in the lineup. Over there you see on first is Olivia Bark. A 1 count, batted over to first, and Werner will tag her out, advances the runner. 2 down, runner on second for the Badgers.
Probably the best play there. Best play to go to on that one, coming towards the ball, coming towards the runner. Maggie did a good job. Werner did a good job keeping an eye on the runner at second base, but really didn't have much time to try to get that lead out.
Schwartz leaning on her teammates here this inning. Hard ground ball over to short, tough hop. Badgers will send her home. 1 run will score. Great base running from Olivia Bark as she gets batted in. Badgers lead 1-0.
As a base runner at second base, you're always looking for that next base that you can take, and reading that ball down, reading that ball getting into the outfield it's a great read.
And that ball had quite a bit of heat on it. Very tough play over at short for Scarlett Kuhn. Mackenzie Foster at the plate. 1 run lead, 2 down. Now back to a runner on first. A 0-1 pitch will just miss, tie the count out at 1-1. Mackenzie Foster, the junior out of Columbus, Indiana. She'll lay down a bunt, and it'll go foul. And again, Schwartz pitching with 2 strikes ahead in the count. One-two count to Foster. Out in front, ground ball the second, flipped over to first, and the Gophers get out of the inning. Badgers strike first, 1-0 lead off the RBI. And the Gophers will get back up to bat. Trail by 1, just 1 hit in the game so far. We'll be back.
It's time for your next set of bingo numbers. N35, O70, G60, and G50. That's N35, O70, G60, and G50.
Back here at James H. Coles, Sam Constantine alongside Sydney Strelo, and one of the big stories today, Wisconsin in the hunt for career win number 600 for head coach Yvette Healy.
Yeah, Healy's been with the Badgers for, as you can see, 16 seasons, and really the heart of the program. I think she's done a good job getting those Wisconsin recruits coming in for the program, and
well, we talked before about this. She has moved more towards in-state recruiting after notoriously focusing her efforts out of state.
Yeah, for sure. We have, I think we counted up 10, 11 athletes from in-state, which is awesome to see at Wisconsin.
Easton will lead off the second inning, Snippas will lead off the second inning for the Gophers. She'll foul one right back, make it an 0-2 count. Gopher offense off to a hot start in the first. Got 2 runners on board, could not do anything with them. That was the big problem last weekend. They were getting runners on against, I would say, the best pitcher in the nation. But once that runner reached second base, they just couldn't do anything in that situation.
Yeah, I think this part of the game is when you're getting to the bottom half of the lineup, you've passed that information. That's when you're going to have to make those adjustments early, even without seeing an at-bat as a hitter that's lower in the lineup. So I would want to see those adjustments happening even before, even though these hitters haven't seen an at-bat today yet.
We got a good look there at Minnesota head coach Piper Ritter, known for her ability to develop pitchers, as you can see with Sid Schwartz and the many All-Americans who have passed through this program in the past bit. Was with the program for a while before she took over the head coaching position. And in a rebuilding year this year, they have had a lot of very strong players graduate, especially on the offensive side, but really all around these last couple of years.
Yeah, and with each new year, there's new faces that come in and new roles that need to be held. And like you mentioned, there's always a rebuilding year. There's always underclassmen that need to step up and get into those upperclassmen roles. So
now a good strikeout inning for Jacobson. She fans the first 2, gets her 3rd strikeout of the day so far. Scarlett Kuhn at the plate, the 8th batter for Minnesota. After her, it is Jones, then back to the top of the order. Oh and 1 count. Minnesota not graduating any players. Everyone still has at least 1 year of eligibility left, but still so important to have that younger core. Cassie Johnson, we talked about the impact she's made on this team. Kuhn, another freshman in that camp. Those are the 2 that have seen decent playing time this season. Big swing to center, deep drive, and a catch on the warning track. Hard hit ball, but could not quite make it. So the Gophers go down 1-2-3. Wisconsin still with a 1-run lead. And they will try to add more to that lead when we come back here on Big Ten Plus.
Time to vote for your favorite song. Head over to X and vote on Gopher Softball's latest poll. Choose which song you want to hear in the middle of the 6th inning. Leading off the top of the 3rd inning.
After 2, Badgers lead by 1. Again, just a beautiful day outside, 62 degrees and sunny. Most of the field shaded by now. Hopefully that's not going to be too much of an issue. We've already had some pretty high hit balls out to left.
yeah, right field's the notorious sun, not getting all the sun throughout the whole game. So
right now that shadow line goes from center, and it's just a triangle as you see that far right bit of it right there on your screen. So we'll see how Kendra Lewis and Brooke Jones fare with that. Hannah Conger at the plate for Wisconsin in the 9-hole. She'll lay down a bunt again, this time once more. It will fall foul, 0-2.
Conger's just trying to get something started here, especially at the bottom of the order. Turning that lineup over with a runner on base would be pretty essential for Wisconsin.
0-2 count now for the 9 batter. Corners a step in from the bag as Schwartz misses wide. Werner happy to be back at first. She actually started at third last weekend when Easton was injured and Schwartz was playing at first.
Werner has definitely floated around a lot throughout her few years at Minnesota. You've seen her at second, short, third, now first. I think that's just really a testament to Piper Ritter wanting her in the lineup and that leadership that she brings.
Strike 3 to Conger. Gets Schwartz her 4th strikeout of the evening. And the first batter down in the top of the 3rd. And she is just completely controlling the game with that speed change. Bojan will take a strike. Hardest hit ball for the Badgers, still that RBI ground ball that took a tough hop out in front of Scarlett Kuhn. But no very strong hits for the Badgers. And Schwartz has really just felt like she's been in control of the game.
Yeah, Coach Ritter really preaches with her pitchers to get ahead in the count, get the lead out, because those things are important. It just puts the pitcher in a mentality that they are in control of the situation, and then the pitcher can use a little bit more of their change of speeds, their movement pitches, to get fully ahead and obviously get the result that they want.
2-1 count. Spinner picked up in fair territory. Great play. Heads up play by Maggie Werner to get the out there.
Absolutely. That was really interesting. It had a lot of spin on it. Testament to Schwartz's spin on the ball. Being really ahead on that swing and then just fully spinning back fair. Good job by Werner letting the ball come back fair.
2 down. Again, in Schwartz's successful outings, she has, as the game goes on, really let more balls into play and taken some of that strain and some of that pressure off of herself. We'll see how she continues to do that here. Hillary Blumberg at the plate for the Badgers. 2 down, nobody on top of the 3rd. Big swing, shot out to right. That'll reach the wall, hit off the Larson retired jersey, and be brought in. Stand-up double for Blumberg.
With the Badger hitters being ahead with Schwartz on Schwartz, this is a really great swing, staying back in her legs. That's a really tough play for Brooklyn to make, Jones to make, but really great swing, especially as the Badgers have been very early on Schwartz throughout the beginning of this game.
Ava Parent will take over at second base. Pinch running. And the Badgers have another runner in scoring position here. At the plate is Kendra Lewis, 5'5" pitcher infielder, also out of Illinois. Hard ground ball, right side, tough bounce. And another run will score on a hard hit to the infield. It's 2 errors for Minnesota, just 1 hit for Wisconsin today. Way out in front for strike one is Olivia Bark. She walked back in the in the second inning, actually. Check swing, made it out to third, play to first, and the Gophers get out of the inning, but Wisconsin strikes again. 2-0 is their lead after 2.5. Minnesota will look to get back on base offense, see what they can do when we get back.
Jones, Werner, and Johnson. And tough Gopher fans, the Gophers do a strikeout that inning, so we're throwing a t-shirt. Hey fans, help me welcome Blake to the booth, who will be today's junior PA announcer for the bottom of the third inning.
After 2.5, the Badgers lead 2-0, one hit apiece, but 2 errors for the Gophers. Minnesota in possession of the axe. They have had the upper hand in football the last couple of years. In softball, Minnesota still leads the all-time series, but Wisconsin won the season series last year. Brooke Jones up at the plate to lead off the bottom of the third for the Gophers. It'll be her, then back to Werner, Johnson, and Willaco. She'll lay down a bunt on the first pitch, and that'll fall well foul. No strong, well, just the one strong base hit for the Badgers, but really they've just been seeing pitches and hitting it hard on the ground. Gophers have had one good contact. That was the last out of last inning, the line drive to center. But we'll see if, again, passing that information down, they can figure out Jacobson.
I think the Badgers are definitely executing a bit more when they do have base runners on, and also getting hits into the holes that are open. I would like to see the Gophers here, get that that first runner on, and then with that turnover of the lineup, execute in that fashion.
Foul fly ball. A couple of fans clamoring for it. Nobody caught it, but nobody got hurt there, so I guess take what you can get with that. Brooke Jones now behind in the count 1-2, and you said it, just fighting to get something going, which took a while. Even in the Nebraska series, when they got quite a few hits against a great pitcher, it was really slow at the start, and then the bats woke up as the weekend went on. We'll see if they can have that kind of success again here. Two count to the 9-batter Brooke Jones from Jacobson. She'll bounce one in. Last year, Jacobson pitched in just 2/3 of an inning against Minnesota. Gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, and picked up the loss. That was April 21st, the only loss that they took to Minnesota that season. Get a brief chat here. Take another look at that pitch. At the end, it clips the wrist. Ooh, right there on the back of the wrist. So we'll get a brief stop here as she is tended to. So we will step aside for a moment and return when all is sorted out. All right, we are back here. Looks like she's okay after getting a bit of attention to that wrist. Ovation from the fans, and, well, tough to ice a full count, but now tough task for, well, I guess both Jones and Jacobson in this case.
Yeah.
Full count, Maggie Werner on deck. Start off the top of the third. Bottom of the third, pardon me. Hit hard but foul. And we'll try again.
Jones is really fighting to make an adjustment here. She had that foul ball early in the count to the right side, and then this foul ball to the left side. Just trying to find her timing with Jacobson.
Another full count draw. Hard hit past the third baseman. Gophers get on board, and that's just been the key today, these hard hits through the infield.
Yeah, getting your barrel on the ball, putting the ball in play, and putting the ball in play on the ground is probably the best opportunity to get on base.
Take a look at this at bat from Werner against Illinois. It was a leadoff home run, and just the number of pitches that she's able to see and foul off gets her spot there and sends it over the fence. Talking about taking that leadoff role, sending back information, that was one of many prime examples this year of how she has done exactly that and worked deep into counts.
You know, I actually had the opportunity to coach Maggie when she was in 16U for travel ball, and just seeing her growth and in leadership and just on the field has been awesome.
Hard ground ball over to second, play to second. Great stretch from Conger to get the out, but Maggie will be safe in at first. One out, Werner standing on first base brings up Cassie Johnson. Take another look at that. Kind of awkward handcuffed her there, but able to get the toss off and good stretch.
Getting the lead out, that is the most important.
First pitch to Cassie Johnson. Will miss the spot. Ahead 1-0. Jacobson up to 31 pitches now. (2-0) count. Off of what you've seen, what adjustments do the Gophers try and make now that they're in the second time through the order?
Yeah, I think waiting back a little bit more. I feel like the Gophers have been ahead of the Jacobson for the most of this game. Being ahead, being early is not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's easier to adjust.
High foul fly out for Cassie Johnson. And again, still just the one or two hard contacts that the Gophers have had so far this season. Pardon me, today.
I would also say working to the top of the ball, the Gophers, obviously we had that pop-up right there, but hitting the ball on the ground is a higher probability of the ball, taking its turn. But
there's one hard on the ground, but taken care of. Smooth play by Olivia Bark over at third, and the Gophers get a runner on, get a runner over to second, but still can't score. We'll be back with the top of the fourth on Big Ten Plus.
It's time for your next set of bingo numbers. All right. 0, I should say, 061, 068, G49, and G59. That's 061, 068, G49, and G59.
Back here after 3, Gophers trail by 2. And Wisconsin 5, 6, 7 in the order. Take a look at their goalie fraternizing with some of the Wisconsin fans. See the standings there, Wisconsin in that tie for 8th place. Pretty good bet that they'll make the tournament. Minnesota, on the other hand, is going to have a bit of work to do over these next 2 weekends to make sure that they have their spot.
It is a tough spot to be in, having to win and then also knowing that maybe you're betting on other teams taking a loss there. But I think that the mentality that the Gophers have to have is just to keep battling through the end of the season, keep fighting and working through all of the growing pains that may come with it.
Leadoff base hit there for the Badgers. Showalter, again, the only freshman in this lineup today for Wisconsin. She will get a pinch runner once again. This time for the Badgers, it will be Sydney Spear.
32, Sydney Spear. Center fielder number 2,
Danielle Lucy, the junior, at the plate. Leads the team entering the day with a .385 average. 0 for 1 so far. Big swing right center is caught. And 1 out with a runner on first.
Some good contact there. I think the Badgers are starting to get the timing down a little bit. Perhaps maybe the speeds are looking a little bit similar for the hitters, but making that play out and Wright Jones did a good job tracking it down.
Throw down to second, great throw, and they get the out. What a play behind the plate from Cassie Johnson. Add on the tag. And there's 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Take another
What
look
a tag here. Cassie does a great job getting the ball down, and Hooper just putting that ball on the ground, putting her glove on the ground. I see a lot of players tagging too high, I feel like, and the base runner sliding right underneath. And what I've been hearing is ball straight to the ground, and Hooper does a really great job getting it down there, making sure that hand doesn't get in.
2 down now. Whitten up to the plate. Great pitch on the edge there, 1-2 count. The 1-2, softly hit out to short, caught, and 3 up, 3 down, including a runner caught stealing. Gophers still trail by 2, locked up 2 hits apiece. The errors for Minnesota have been tough. We'll see if they can respond when we come back.
It's time for your next set of bingo numbers. N42, B9, I28, N44. That's N42, B9, I28, N44.
Back here at Jane Sage, Badgers lead 2-0. Big Ten Plus gives you access to more live games. Your subscription includes exclusive access to Big Ten Network's library of classic games, award-winning original programming, and specially curated digital channels that highlight your favorite Big Ten schools 24/7. Explore all Big Ten Plus has to offer on the app or at big10plus.com. It's always game on. Great program with the Student U program as well, with letting college students across the conference get broadcasting experience. Leadoff single for Sid Schwartz. Very hard hit ball, and the pitcher decides to start something herself. She's reached base both times.
You can see that momentum shift, especially after that runner caught stealing in the last inning, and Schwartz coming out swinging at that first pitch, hunting that first good pitch and putting it in play. You can see the momentum shift for the Gophers here.
Gophers have the edge right now in hits. Now, most hits this game have been pretty similar. Low line drives, hard ground balls. The lone exception to that being the very hard hit ball out to right for the Badgers that brought in a run. Tinley Easton will try to work with this leadoff runner for the Gophers, see if they can get someone in scoring position and get some runs on the board. She'll lay down a bunt and send it foul. For much of the season, Lucy Hooper has been the source of sacrifice bunts for the Gophers. She has not been hitting as much lately in games where Sid Schwartz has taken on more of a role in the offense the last couple weeks. Missed the bunt again. Tough throw back to first. Gets through the outfield. And pinch runner will stay over there at first. It's Lucy Hooper over at first, taking over the spot of Schwartz. One and one count. Easton tried two bunts. See if she goes to it again. She will. That one had a little more air than she would have liked, but landed foul. One-two count. Badgers corners backing up a little bit, playing probably even with the base by the time the pitch crosses the plate. Just misses outside. After Easton, it's Snippas, Cosgriff, then Scarlett Kuhn.
I just noticed Easton hitting in a sort of a split grip. You can see her hands are kind of split apart on the bat. I suppose this could be to get to the top of the ball, hit a ball hard, trying to make it a little bit more simplistic. It's definitely a tool that I've seen a lot of hitters use.
Hard ground ball, great diving play, knocks it down, but will not get the out. So runners on first and second off the base hit from Easton.
And just like that, getting to the top of the ball, hard hit ground ball. Safe to say maybe the split grip had a little bit of a factor on hitting that ball into the ground, which is kind of what you want in this scenario. You want to make the defense make plays.
Well, I may be wrong here, but it's not something I've noticed her doing much of this year, so that may be something that she's been working on lately. Hard ground ball over to third. They get the lead runner, play to first, in time for the double play. Strong throw from Olivia Bark at third. And the Gophers now 2 outs with a runner on second. Looks like there was a moment where I thought they were going to take a look at first, but pretty clear out there, and a great play at the hot corner. 2 down, strike 1 to Jay Cosgriff. Over on second is Tinley Easton. Well, the key to the game so far has been hard hit ground balls. That one didn't go its way for the Gophers. Still lead 4-2 in hits, but much like last weekend, not as effective with runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss for Cosgriff. Jacobson to Cosgriff, the 1-2. Fouled towards the Badger dugout. Easton definitely a lot of speed there on second. Hard to imagine a hard hit ball that gets through the infield on the ground would not score her, especially going on the crack of the bat with 2 outs. 1-2, big swing, fouled off. Take another look there, right off that
back,
helmet.
yeah.
Behind the plate has really taken a beating so far today.
Even with all that gear, it hurts, for sure.
So we'll reset for another 1-2. Looked like every second of that pitch she wanted to go, but somehow held back.
You know, I heard the dugout, the Minnesota dugout, yelling sit. I think the Gophers have picked Jacobson's changeup and have kind of found the way in which she's holding the ball, or maybe her motion. So they're calling it out for the hitter so that way she doesn't swing at that, or she knows that it's coming.
Big swing again, making its way foul out of play. Talk about extending at bats for the Gophers. 8th pitch of the at bat for Cosgriff, 51 on the night for Jacobson. The 2-2. Way out in front, strike 3. Jacobson retires the Gophers once more. She has been stellar with runners in scoring position, and the Gophers still no runs off of 4 hits. Badgers lead 2-0 after 4 here on Big Ten Plus.
And all of our bingos have been played. Thank you for participating in tonight's Fan Appreciation Bingo Night.
Back after 4, Badgers lead 2-0. Good fan showing today as you take a look at the Badger upcoming schedule. This is the second to last series of the season. Badgers will take on Rutgers as they continue to fight for a better seed. Again, they are 3 games into the playoffs as the standings currently fall. So they certainly could get knocked out, but if they play at a 500 rate from here on out, they have a pretty decent shot at making it. They would certainly love to see A little bit easier matchups early on in the tournament, though. Minnesota, of course, if they do make it, they are likely going to have a very tough first-round matchup. Mackenzie Foster, 8-9-1 for Wisconsin. Strike on the bunt attempt. That was pulled back. 1-2 count. We'll get a brief chat between Foster and her coach over at third. I'm ready to go once more here. Schwartz, still the 3 speeds have been tough for everyone that she has faced. And just when you think they're adapting to it, she'll have another run of strikeouts or weak contact. So we'll see. She can get back in control here. 2-2 count.
A lot of it comes from, sequencing of pitches. You don't want to throw too many in a row that are the same speed. I think that once you kind of find the sequence that you're going to throw the hitter, it becomes a lot easier to get ahead and then do what Schwartz did just right there.
Called strike 3 against Foster. Now I have to imagine that a lot of that credit has to go in the direction of the dugout with head coach Piper Ritter.
Yeah, she's obviously been doing this for a while now, and Coach Ritter knows her pitchers pretty well, and she knows what they're good at. She knows what they want to throw in each count, and she definitely communicates a lot as the pitchers come out. She's talking with them, kind of working through some things of what they're feeling is good, talking with the catchers, making sure everything is looking good from their angle as well. So
another bunt attempt laid down, foul. 5 strikeouts so far for Schwartz today. Another relatively quick game this evening so far. Not a whole lot of hits. Schwartz has been pretty efficient, and the runs that she has let in have been just hard hit balls on the ground that took unlucky hops. One-two count to Conger. Fly ball trailing foul. Nice catch, tracking that one down by Brooke Jones out and right.
The designated play, number 3, Emily Bojang.
Minnesota will travel out to Evanston next weekend, again fighting for that spot in the tournament. There's a handful of teams in that range in the standings that the Gophers are competing with that 10, 11, 12 spot for. And we'll see over this weekend what position we look like, and next weekend things will really start to take shape. 1-1 count to the leadoff, 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Schwartz falls behind. One thing the Gophers are certainly figuring out right now is if they get the chance to play in the tournament, but especially beyond round 1 in the tournament, what they do in the circle. And you have to imagine they basically want to throw Sid until her arm falls off with the way her season's going.
Yeah, Schwartz does a great job with the amount of pitches that she needs to throw for the Gophers. And I think that through the end of the season, everyone's just working to get a good,
Well, a bit of a strange play there. It looked like a routine ground ball. I think it might have gone off of her foot at the plate. So we'll get a brief chat between the umpires here. All the Gophers thought it was in play. Let's take another look. Yep, off that inside of the foot, it looks like.
Although she did start running right away.
So the call on the field is that it was a fair ball and an out over at first, but that is under review. Challenge from the Wisconsin dugout. I agree. I have rarely seen a case where a batter fouls it off of themselves. First off, that it goes
Starts
that
running.
far fair, but also that she starts running.
Yeah. I think she heard the umpire, or I guess she did start running, but why did she stop running? Maybe because she realized that it hit off her foot. This is a good angle. Oh, wow.
That's
close.
very close.
You can't. Yeah.
Well, certainly understand the confusion on the play, if nothing else, from that look. And the fact that she didn't start running immediately, or that she did, pardon me, it definitely confuses the situation a little bit here. As it stands, Gophers have been doing good lately defensively. Put up a 0 in the last frame. Strong start to this inning on defense.
I believe this call would have to be confirmed confirmed. There would have to be enough evidence to overturn it, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and with that look, it certainly very hard to tell. The second look really made me question it. The first look, it looked a bit clearer off her foot. Great job by our crew there, but very tough play to call. Take one more look at this play. And again, whether it
So close.
gets that toe there, yeah. Now this is probably one of those calls where whichever way it gets called originally would stand. But we will get a ruling here shortly. Call on the field stands. Gophers get the out. That will put an end to the inning. Bit of an unconventional end, but 1-2-3 inning either way. Gophers still trail by 2 after 4.5. Time for the 5th inning stretch. And we will be back. Gophers with 9 more outs to get back on the board.
Two up for the Gophers in the bottom of the 5th inning. Good, Jones, and Werner. Hands up, Gopher fans. The Gophers threw a strikeout that inning, so we're throwing a T-shirt. Hey, Gopher fans, get on your feet. It's time for the 5th inning stretch.
Back here after the 5th inning stretch at Jane Sage Coles. And, well, Minnesota still looking strong on defense, just hasn't been able to do anything with runners in scoring position. Sam Constan, to my right here is Sydney Strelo. And it's been a quick game, pretty clean, but just some hard hit balls on the ground have been the deciding factor so far.
So you could say, I think hitting the ball on the ground has been real essential for these teams, and really just trying to pass that information with the pitchers has been the goal of the game.
And so Gophers, 9 outs to go. Need 2 to tie up this contest. Again, they lead 4-2 in hits. And it's been the 2 errors that have decided it. in the infield. Now, called errors, definitely an argument for that, but there were some pretty hard hit balls back in the second and third innings.
Yeah, Jane Sage Field is can get pretty firm. The grounds crew does a great job watering it down, and you can imagine through the cold weather, the field gets like concrete. So, yeah, I've definitely had my fair share of wild hops on the field.
Big swing there from Scarlett Kuhn. 1-2 count. Gophers had some of their own luck in that department on offense. There's the play over at third, but that scorching ground ball that turned into a double play didn't go quite as much their way. Fouled. That'll be out into the visiting bullpen. Nice effort there. That was Olivia Bark chasing it. Gophers still just in their second time through the batting order. 8-9-1 here to start off the bottom of the fifth. Jacobson has done a good job keeping her pitch count low. That's something the Gophers have done relatively well this season, is working into these extended counts, but still just down at 57. Hard hit ball over to short. Nice play, glove side, and the out at first. Conger to Showalter. Retires the first batter. Base hits for the Gophers today. Wallako, Schwartz, Easton, and Jones. Jones, who's up right now. Now they were all stranded. Gophers, again, with runners in scoring position, have had a tough time. Another hard hit ball, but high and shallow. 2 down.
The first baseman, number 4, Maggie Werner.
Back to the top of the order for the Gophers. Werner has not yet reached base today.
You can hear that sick call again. That was pretty loud.
Like you said, Gophers doing a good job of picking out that changeup.
I believe that was Burnett's voice. She's out with an injury this season, but it's always awesome to see how she's contributing to the team and the effort here. It's awesome.
Definitely a positive sign anytime you've got a player that, for whatever reason, can't play and able to still find their way to contribute. Big swing foul. That'll land right on top of us. Heard that one. Not sure if that came through the mics. 1-2 count to the leadoff in Werner. And the pitch is taken. Minnesota today has a OPS of 513. They have still no extra base hits, just the 4 hits and 1 walk. That same spot out to shallow left center. So many balls from the Gophers lost there, and to their credit, Mackenzie Foster has been solid out and left. Gophers can't get anything done on offense. Badgers trying to expand on that 2-0 lead when we come back for the top of the 6th. back here through 5. Badgers lead 2-0, 2-3-4 up. Big Ten softball fans, there's an Instagram account dedicated to you. Follow at B1G Softball for the best Big Ten highlights, videos, and images from the Diamonds straight to your feed. Join the community now on Instagram, powered by Big Ten Network. Some great highlight clips that I've gotten to watch there. Definitely tough to keep up with everything going on across the league now that there are so many teams. And so the Badgers will send up 2-3-4. Blumberg, Hillary Blumberg at the plate now. Hard ground ball through the hole. Leadoff base hit. It just seems like the Badgers have had their way with these ground balls all night.
Put the ball in play and good things happen. Especially putting the ball on the ground. You can imagine the fly balls are it's an easier play when you just have to catch the ball versus the ball being on the ground, having to make a decision where to throw it. A lot of factors there. So Wisconsin's doing a good job of getting the barrel on the ball and getting the ball to the ground and making the infield make plays.
Big swing back to center and caught. Seems like even the best hits as far as very strong contact, just been line drives straight to the outfield.
And that's how it goes. I mean, there's been plenty of times you line out 3 times in a row and that blue pit is the one that gets in and matters. So really just working through that, passing the bat. Wisconsin's doing a great job of that.
Well, Hillary Blumberg was the only one so far to get that double out to right, only extra base hit of the game. Olivia Bark at the plate now. Reached base once with that walk. Way out in front, that one will trail foul. Very lucky that Easton didn't just get a glove on it there. One and one count to the cleanup batter. Take another look here. Just a little late to it, but that could have been dangerous if she got it and just tipped it further foul. Badgers trail 3-4 in the hits column. 2-1 count to Bark. Three and 1 count. Schwartz on to her 74th pitch of the outing. Ground ball. Schwartz takes it herself, checks it, makes the play to first, and there are 2 down. We have talked a lot this year about Schwartz's defensive ability in the circle.
She is athletic off the mound. You could see her bobble that ball a little bit, coming off of a pitch and fielding her ground ball, hit hard back at you that close can be difficult, and she's just cool, collected, even if that ball doesn't stick in her glove right away.
I can think of maybe 2 plays where she has struggled defensively this season, and she has just been such a cornerstone there and certainly making the middle infielders' jobs easier on some of those balls up the middle. 1 and 1 count to Showalter. Fouled off, 1-2 count. Badgers with a runner in scoring position. That's Blumberg over on second. The 1-2, way out front, strike 3 from Sid Schwartz. She fans another. It's her 6th of the night. And the Gophers will come back up to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. Schwartz with the strikeout sends us to the break. We'll be back on Big Ten Plus.
For the Gophers in the bottom of the 6th inning, Johnson, Polanco, and Schwartz. Heads up, Gopher fans. The Gophers threw a strikeout inning, so we're rotation. Hey fans, you voted for your favorite song, so here is today's winner. Best song ever by One Direction.
Gophers down 2-0, but the spirits are high here at Jane Sage Coles. Last home series for the Gophers. Wisconsin definitely traveled well. That's 2 straight series of a lot of red in the crowds. Now, I don't have the numbers for this yet, but this is certainly one of the better showings that the Gophers have had this season. Certainly, when you combine the weather with a border battle, you're going to get that.
These last 2 innings here, I think the Gophers are really searching to find an adjustment to make just to pass the bat, getting runners on and executing the game plan that they walked into the game with, or perhaps changing that up a little bit if that hasn't been working out and they haven't been executing it as well. So
Polanco is certainly one of the players on this roster who is capable of changing that in one swing. Really, her, Werner, and Johnson have been the 3 that the Gophers can count on when they need it. Certainly, there have been times where other players lower in the order have chipped in, but it's really been those 3 in the clutch moments for a lot of this season.
yeah, and I think when you're thinking about, changing the score, I think for Polanco in this scenario, you can't hit a 2-run home run. Your main goal is to get on base and trust that your teammates behind you have your back.
There have been some of those mistakes actually base running the past couple of weeks here at Jane Sage, both Gophers and opponents, where the runners that weren't needed to score, like 3-run game in the bottom of the 7th or top of the 7th, and the lead runner got out on base. And just that kind of mental mistake is the kind of thing that you got to shy away from here, like you're talking about.
Exactly. Those runs are precious when they're out in scoring position. And you really don't want to be risking it on that one. You really want to have that trust in your teammates.
Strike 3 swinging to Polanco from Jacobson. And she has had a phenomenal start in the circle.
Number 11, Sandy Star.
4 hits, 1 walk through 5 2/3. Schwartz on the other side has been the major source of offense for the Gophers. She is 1 for 1 and reached on a walk. The only Gopher to reach base multiple times so far today. She'll drive one over to the right side. And another quick inning for the Gopher offense. Down to their last 3 outs. Badgers will try to add to their lead. They haven't scored since the 3rd. That is 7 straight scoreless half innings. We'll see if they can break it when we come back.
In the top of the 7th inning, Lucy with it, and Foster.
On to the 7th inning. Badgers lead by 2. Crunch time here for the Gophers. They have to get 3 more outs before they can worry about getting back on the board. Take a look at the circle comparison. Similar pitch count, similar across the board. Schwartz has the edge, but those 2 errors for the Gophers, which some of them sort of 50-50, whether they're errors or base hits, just very hard hits on the ground ball. And those are how the Badgers got their 2-0 lead.
The Badgers are being very scrappy tonight, scrapping for those runs and really working through defensive mistakes that may have come about, and they've been getting out of it and leaving those Gophers stranded out there.
Still 0 earned runs on either side. Lucy leading off the inning for the Badgers. It's 6-7-8. Way out front. Nice play at third from Easton. Gets the out over at first. Had some spin on it. Not a whole lot of pace. Good approach from the third baseman there for the Gophers. Brings up Whitten for Wisconsin. Another hit through that hole. Low line drive. And the Badgers have another runner on board. Now still, you have to say, a strong outing for Schwartz. Certainly parts of the game where she hasn't maybe felt as in command as she has in other games, but you look at a 0 earned run, 4 hit game, not much you can say about that.
Yeah, and I mean, one of those runs is coming from walk and then defensive mistakes that have been made, and Wisconsin's just taking advantage of that, and some things have been going their way as well, but the Gophers definitely had the opportunity to take advantage of some hits throughout the game, some walks, and really hasn't fallen their way. So.
Pinch runner you saw over there at first. Now it's Mackenzie Foster at the plate. Now in Klipser. Now there are a lot of times you never want you never want to hit a batter, but especially add on already a runner on base, top of the 7th, and at the 8th spot in the order. And the Gophers would love to get out of this without entering that situation, but now you're up against a 308 batter entering the day, and back to a power hitting top of the order soon.
Yeah, and I'm sure Schwartz is aware of where they are in the lineup. I think something that could have been a little bit beneficial would be to take a break there, just with that runner moving into scoring position and having, down by 2 runs for the Gophers, knowing that each run is going to matter going into the last inning. I would have liked to see a little bit more of a calming moment there, maybe time called, but.
Ground ball right back to Schwartz, played at third, throw to first. It is not handled. The Werner gets it back, no throw to third. So they got the lead runner. That runner is then restocked. And runners on the corners, but the Gophers do get an out of it. This time, Cassie Johnson will call a timeout. That's something that you were talking about right before that play. Gophers have very often had a circle of visit that really calms Schwartz down, and maybe she's starting to give up a couple walks, fall behind in counts, and just locks right back in, and we'll see if this can have that same effect.
Yeah, Ritter's probably chatting about either it's a pep talk about, you got this hitter, or they're kind of talking about what's working, what the plan is, the game plan for this batter. Yes, she's seen this batter. This is going to be the 4th time around, and maybe changing up the plan to execute and get out of this inning with unscathed of runs. So.
Bojan at the plate. Hasn't gotten a hit so far today, but 2 runners on. Never really want to see a 361 batter. They'll throw it right back to Schwartz, and didn't want to sell that too hard, just not risking any errors, which, given how some of those plays have gone for the team this year, I don't think you can blame that decision.
I think Ritter's also putting trust into Schwartz, knowing that she can get this batter as long as she's executing her pitches and her defense is behind her to work. So I think part of that is allowing Schwartz to be able to execute throughout this batter.
2 runners in scoring position, 1-1 count. Hard to left center. That one will reach the wall. 2 runs will score. A stand-up 2 RBI double for Emily Bojan, her first hit of the night, and it puts the Badgers up 4.
Bojan on obviously hunting that pitch. She puts a great swing on it in a very potent part of the game with 2 runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Really great swing.
Still a runner in scoring position. Badgers advance to the 2-hitter and Hillary Blomberg. She has had quite a good night. She had that very hard hit double out to right. That had been the only extra base hit for the Badgers up until that one from Bojan. For the first time today, the Badgers lead in hits 5-4. Strike 3 from Schwartz, but the Badgers put 2 up, 2 RBI double. And the Gophers have their work cut out for them. They need to get 4 here in the bottom of the 7th. We'll see if they can do it when we come back on Big Ten Plus.
It's up over bad. The Gophers threw a strikeout that inning, so we're throwing up T-shirt.
Bottom of the 7th, Gophers have some work to do.
Gophers have to attack each out, or each batter, each pitch with intent. Each out matters, and really, again, I think I talked about this last inning, but not focusing on swinging for the fence, hitting a 4-run home run with nobody on base. Really just trying to work through the moment and get on base, trusting your teammates behind you.
Gophers really right now fighting for a spot and a better seed in the Big Ten tournament in College Park. That'll be in early May. Should be a very exciting tournament. So much talent in the Big Ten. Nebraska, it was so cool to see them in person. So, like Jordy Fromm is just an incredible player to watch, and it is going to be a great tournament that is going to have, I'm sure, some exciting upsets as well. Wisconsin again has their spot largely locked in. It certainly is still possible for them to fall out of it, but especially with a win here, they are nearly guaranteed a spot in the tournament. Gophers, quite the opposite. The 0-2 to Easton. Swung on and missed. 2 outs to go.
Left fielder, number 81, Jessa Sniffen.
Snippas at the plate for Minnesota. Cosgriff on deck. Hard hit ball. What a play over at third and the out to first. Olivia Bark has had such a phenomenal night over in the hot corner.
Yeah, she's making the routine plays and she's making the not routine plays look easy. Kind of gets down to her knees on this one and then gets right back up to toss it over. Makes it look nice and fluid.
Pinch hitting now for the Gophers, number 15, Kaylee Cochran.
Minnesota will use a pinch hitter here. It'll be Keely Cochran at the plate, 143 on the year. Or pardon me, has not recorded a hit yet this year. She came in a very difficult situation earlier this season for her first at bat. And again, a tough spot to be put in with 2 outs and bottom of the 7th, down 4.
Yeah, I think Ritter's just trying to see what she's made of here. Her one job is to get on base here, maybe make some hard contact. Just trying to work through that here for her. I like seeing these opportunities for the freshmen, especially. It's not a huge moment, like weighted moment, but it is still big, and just kind of see what they're made of.
She is 3 for 21, drove in 2 runs. Now 1 hit, and both of those RBIs were against North Dakota State back in US Bank Stadium. Her last hit was at Arizona on February 17th. 2-1 count, hit very high up to right, and a complete game shutout for Jacobson. What an outing for the Wisconsin starter.
Yeah, pretty dominant in the circle, I would say. Gophers really not making quite of an adjustment, and the Badgers really capitalizing on the base runners that they were getting.
Final score, Badgers 4-0. 5 hits for the Badgers, 4 for Minnesota. And those 3 errors, just the 2 runs in the 7th were earned. It was 0 earned runs through 6 innings. And the Gophers just didn't have things go their way. Hard hit balls on the ground, tough hops. Badgers, opposite story. With that win, a big congratulations to head coach Yvette Healy for reaching that milestone career win. And a great time for it, as that, again, more or less solidifies Wisconsin's place in the tournament.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, especially going into those last few games before the tournament. You can kind of focus on a few key details to shore up before getting to tournament play.
Take a look at the stats here. Jacobson and Blumberg, 5 strikeouts, 2 hits respectively. And you take a look at some of the highlights from the game. Schwartz started out very hot, struck out the side to begin the game. And then it was this double that started to make things feel maybe a little bit out of hand for the Badgers. They added on, again, just hard hit balls on the ground, tough hops. They got their first 2 runs that way in the second and third innings. On the defensive side, they were just excellent the whole time. Some great starts, good 7th inning rally, and the Gophers could not get anything done to finish things off in the bottom of the 7th. Final score, Badgers 4, Gophers 0 for our whole crew at Huntington Bank Stadium. Our whole on-site crew here, partner Sydney Schwartz, pardon me, Sydney Strelo. I'm Sam Constant saying thank you for tuning in, and the Badgers win 4-0.